Hey, back. I guess I don't know what day we're in on this thing, but this is my second kind of journal on this whole corona virus, how it's impacting, you know, our business, stuff like that. And I watched my other video I did, and I noticed like always like do this, type of thing. So that must be part of my routine, I guess. It is I don't know what day it is. The 20. That's what happens when you work at home, right? You forget what day it is. So yeah, it's March 20th, Friday. Um, Thought I'd just kind of go over kind of where we're at. So looks like our first employee that's moving over to unemployment. Things have gone really smooth for that, so that's really good to hear. Um, I was kind of looking over the unemployment rules last night, because as I mentioned, as I talked about, we're not taking pay for the next 6 weeks. It's realistically, it's probably going to go on at 8 weeks or more for us not taking an income. So I was kind of looking to see how if Amy, I won't qualify because I still have another job I'm working on, so I don't get unemployment. I wouldn't expect to get it. But Amy, since Amy's sole income is this, thought about looking to see, okay, can she get unemployment since we're not getting paid, even though the business is still open? And the way the rules look, it looks like you have to like completely shut down in order for an owner of the business to take that employment. One thing we did a few years ago, this is advice from our accountant, was we switched over to an S corp. You might check the laws in people's states and stuff like that, but we turned over to an S corporation, and what we did was Amy and I used to be owner. We were still owners, but we used to be just strictly owners. We'd just take owner draws as pay, and then we'd pay all the tax on our end and stuff like that. And we switched to an S corp, and we became employees of the company, so we're kind of W-2'd employees. And part of the reason we did that was in case something happened, fire, went out of business, things like that, we were paying into the unemployment insurance side of things as employees. So if you have a business and stuff and you're not set up like that, you may want to consider, check with your financial advisor and stuff. You might want to consider what that means for you. Should you be a W 2 employee, even if you're an owner in your company, so you can apply, you can get these types of benefits? So if anyone has any, you know, information on how to do this or has some insight, I'd really appreciate it here. So I'll do more research on that. I decided late last night, it was just eating at me all day, and it's been hard to concentrate on my other job. But I'm doing a pretty decent job of separating these two things. But so last night about 8:30, 9 o'clock, I decided that I was looking at cash flow and realized the first of the month that we have about a $35,000 outlay when it comes to payroll. Because we're paying people for this, our pay period ends tomorrow. So we have payroll, rent, and then I had forgotten that we have a pretty large health insurance premium due on April 1st because Amy and I went on the store's health insurance. So, well, not just ours, but also our employees' premiums. So we pay that the first of the month, and then what we do is we subtract it from their next two paychecks. They're a certain percentage of their premium for the next two paychecks. I know we pay the first $250 of the premium, and then they take the rest. So most of our employees, that's actually a pretty good deal for that. So that bill's due, and it's like $5,000 or something like that. So between that, the rent, and so I decided it was stressing me out. So I decided I needed to just float out the idea to our three landlords about maybe working something out over the next few months so I can reserve as much cash as possible to keep things going. I heard from one landlord. He texted me pretty much right away and said that he's looking at things. And really, my ask was this: it went out and said, "Hey, here's our situation. Our sales are down 80%. I'm trying to keep people employed, stuff like that." And I said that Amy and I aren't going to take pay. Probably I mentioned them probably through the end of May, at the minimum, and I just said anything will help. Whether if you can give us, I just gave some options. I said you can give us half rent, no rent for a few months. Work it out where we extend the lease. Give us 2 months now, and then we'll extend the lease by 2 months. Give us a month. We can pay a certain amount. Whatever they could be comfortable with. So I've heard from one already. They're looking into things. The other two I haven't heard from yet, but I expect to hear from them today or Monday. Because really, with your landlord, we all three of our landlords have been over the years have just been fabulous. We've never had a bad building owner, and they've always been really good. That's one thing we look for as a business owner when we go to rent somewhere, is you got to have good landlords, because it's really a partnership. So you want that partnership, to you both need to be successful. They need to make money. You need to make money, and from there. So hopefully we'll hear back, and hopefully they can work with me on reducing rent. And I also told them, I says, if you can't do it, I understand. I said, we'll pay. We'll get you paid in April. I didn't say this to them, but May might be a little different story. That would impact how we do things. If I have to pay full rent in April, what would happen is we would have to seriously consider what is our next steps, because in order to pay full rent for May, right? I'm sure there's tons of people in the same situation. I know it's not really funny, but you got to put some humor into it. And the surprising I'm calm. This stuff, big decisions. I think you can strategize and you can control you sometimes can control the big things, or you can plan on it. It's the little things that get under my skin, and those are things that probably shouldn't get under my skin. So, but anyway, so we're also talking about like necessities, like what are necessary expenditures. So I told Amy, I said this morning, we got our cleaning people, our cleaning crews that clean our stores, I was going to take over that responsibility starting in April anyway. And so I said, we just need to tell them not to come in and just turn in their last invoice with the keys, because I just can't afford that expense. So that's not a necessary expense. I can come in and get all the sweeping done and stuff like that this weekend and stuff like that. We have a window washer. A lot of people think that's weird to have a window washer, but as a business, having clean windows is, if you have a retail business, you want your outside and inside of your building to look good, and clean windows is actually one of those things that you may not notice it, but it's a subliminal thing. So you want clean windows, and unfortunately, we're going to have to hopefully he's not going to watch this, but we're probably going to have to tell him to suspend that for a little bit, because that's not something that is critical for our business to operate. Really, the critical things are things like, we got to make sure now power, internet, gas, water, whatever we can do with rent, and then people, right? People's the most important, and then you work away people, rent, power, and utilities. So, like I said, we're trying to still figure this out. Surprisingly, sales they're as depressing as they are. We're almost doing enough to limit some of the cash flow bleeding that's happening. And they've been doing an amazing job of stepping up too with getting stuff online. Last fall, we decided to revamp our e-commerce side of things, and the loft has been kind of suspect on the effort we put in with what we're selling online over the last few months. Duckworth has been great. People come and pick up stuff in store, and I tell you, the community has really done a good job of helping to step up on that. I think that we could do a little more promotion that this is out there. I know some people don't want to get out, but there's people in town that have around in Ankeny and Ames and surrounding communities that are leveraging that e-commerce site, and they're going to some shopping and they're picking up in store. We still have select customers that are bringing stuff into us, so our inventory is still happening. So customers so far have been great. Staff has been great, so I can't complain about any of that stuff. Um, and I think that even the Ames whole downtown community, Ankeny community, watching them, the Chambers site names in Ankeny and stuff like that. Everybody's been pretty supportive because I think everyone's in this together. You know, not just our business is struggling. You got civic organizations, you got charities, you have manufacturers and stuff like that are feeling it. So we just got to do what we got to do, get through this, and move on. So probably won't be much of a report. I won't report much this weekend, but we'll kind of try to relax. I'm gonna probably have a nice drink of whiskey or something a little bit later in the night, and try to get out a little bit tomorrow. Maybe stop in and see how the stores are doing. Maybe get it and do some cleaning in the stores. Any last minute maintenance, stuff like that. So anyway, this is way longer than it's supposed to be. I really wanted to just journal this stuff, you know, over the next few months. So maybe there's some pieces I can take out of this and put into a blog or something. But like I mentioned, I'm going to just keep sharing these videos with everybody because everyone, especially business owners out there, you're all struggling. We got to all get through this. So anyway, signing out, and we'll catch you later.